Hi guys, I have decided to create video about my experimental Rain of Arrows Dead build that I played on Hardcore Breach League and died on level 98. Actually, this is a build only for ROA fans, but I think if you want you can reach level 100 with it on a hardcore. But it may be 2 times slower than with meta build, I don't know. This build can kill all bosses to tier 15 and play without support, but it's not so easy and not so fast. From the beginning there was an idea to create hardcore viable build with this forgotten skill from the Nemesis times, and I think I did it. But to tell the truth, this build is not cheap, not overpowered and not newbie friendly. Also it have a lot of minuses at the 2.5. Okay, let's see on the build. First of all, tree and subclass. This build can be made with Deadeye or Slayer. They have AoE nodes important for ROA and each class have some pluses and minuses. As example, Deadeye have brilliant node Rupture, which help us to make significantly more damage to single target. Also no extra damage from bleeding is very nice. Next node Fast Shot can be compared with the Slayer's node Headsman. They both work with a certain condition and both are good. Endless Munition node help us with accuracy problems on early levels and gives great AoE boost. It also can be compared to some Slayer AoE nodes. And finally Fast and Deadly. This node gives more comfort to the gameplay because of the increased projectile speed, so arrows fall faster from the sky and time between the shot and the hit became shorter. Slayer haven't equal passives, but have nodes with Onslaught and Cooling Strike. Also 50% reflected physical damage reduction may be useful with in-game gear. Okay, few words about my tree. As you can see, it looks not common for the most of Archer builds, and I want to focus on 2 points. First one, Socket for Jewel the Blue Dream. From 3 nodes I received 14% chance to get power charge on kill, that's really great. So I dropped my Herald of Ice Curse on hit Assassin Mark setup and up Herald of Ash. Also with the vulnerability on hitting glows, Herald of Ice setup will not work, so this jewel is really amazing for this build. And second important thing, Jewel Lioness Fall in socket near the Resolute Technique keystone. It allows to make nice crit chance without crit nodes from the shadow. Also 10% chance to get endurance charge on crit works really good with high crit rate, and my cast when damage taking Immortal Call setup works better. As for bandits, my choice is Help Orc on normal, Help Cretin on cruel and Kill All on merciless. Okay, let's see on my gear and links. Main hand, Rain of Arrows, faster attack, critical strike chance, critical damage, increased area and physical projectile attack damage. At the boss fights you should switch increased area gem for concentrated effect, that's important. In gloves, Wall Lightning Trap, Wall Haste, Blood Rage with increased duration gem, in helm, Frenzy, GMP, Herald of Ash and Hatred, and in boots, Blink Arrow, custom damage taken, Immortal Call and level 20 Decoy Totem. As for belt, I recommend use belt with flask increased duration, because this build have great boost in clear speed and defense from flasks. Perfect rings should be with a flat physical damage, weapon elemental damage and resistances. Amulet and Cure should be with crit multiple, crit chance and maybe weapon elemental damage too. And it would be great if you will get helmed with a 12% increased Rain of Arrows radius, but it's really rare on hardcore now. If you will find this helm, then you can try to buy Dying Sun flask and switch increased critical damage gem for concentrated effect in main links. AoE should be good enough with this setup. Body armor should be Chaos Heart, this is the only one choice for the life-based builds on the hardcore. As for bow, you need rare bow with a more than 8% crit rate and more than 320 physical DPS, but for the endgame you need something like 9% crit rate and 400 physical DPS. And finally I want to tell you that there are a lot of map mods that slow the clear speed of this build. This is the main reason why this build is not so good. As example, less AoE, Enfeeble, physical damage reduction, critical damage reduction, elemental and poison resistances and others. Also, this build is not viable for maps with physical reflect, and you should off Hatred and Herald of Ash on maps with elemental reflect, that's also not good for our clear speed. As I said before, this build is hardcore viable, but very hard and expensive. I have not made Raw great again, but I have shown that he is still alive and can be in top 20 on a hardcore ladder. Okay, that's all. Good luck, and remember that life is technically better than Energy Shield.
Crazy G'day here.
Wed.
Crazy G'day here.